¿Cómo va el cambio?
Buenos días, jóvenes. Aplauso sería adecuado. Jóvenes, buenos días. Creo que ya les dieron la introducción. Pepe, please take off. Pepe. Welcome. I know you heard who our guest of honor is this morning for a short while. The rabbi apologizes for getting in late, but he was in another school. And I'm sure that, as always, Colegio Sefaradi is going to listen with open ears, and it's going to behave like our children from Colegio Sefaradi. Rabbi, welcome, and thank you for being here.
Shalom to everybody. It's wonderful to be here. English is fine. Do you understand English? Okay, great. So I want to just give you a very short message, and then I actually would like to take your questions. If you have questions that you would like to ask. I'm from South Africa. I'm the Chief Rabbi of South Africa. I started the Shabbat project 5 years ago in South Africa in 2013. It began in South Africa, and then it spread all around the world. To last year, in 2016, the project went to 1,152 cities in 95 countries, with more than 1 million Jews involved all over the world. And that's been the story of it. And so it's been a story of Jewish unity, of Jews coming together. It's been a story about how special Shabbat is and what the experience of Shabbat is, that Shabbat is a time just to be together with your family, with your friends, with God, with yourself, a time away from all of the pressure and all of the technology, and just to have a special connected time. And that is what makes it special. So that's part of my story. What I wanted to do was really to see if you have questions that you want to ask. While you're thinking of questions, also wanted just to say that when I look around the room, what I see here is leaders. Each one of you can and should be a Jewish leader, a great Jewish leader, because leaders don't have to only be the people who are in official positions, like rabbis and chief rabbis and school principals. Anyone can be a leader. And the reason why the Shabbat project has been so successful is because people have made it their own. You have an amazing Shabbat project committee here in Mexico City, and people have taken the project on and worked on it and made it happen, and so each one of you can be a leader. And that's my message to you today, that each and every single one of you can be a leader. I'd love to take some questions. Are there any questions that anybody would like to ask, so that we can have a conversation, so it's not just me talking? Otherwise I'll just keep talking.
You can ask in Spanish and we'll translate, okay? You don't have to do it in English.
Anything you want to ask about South Africa, about Mexico?
Actually, I'd like to ask a question if you allow me. Jóvenes, Warren Goldstein, que nos acompaña hoy, ustedes sabrán, Shabbos Project, Shabbat Project, es algo que es mundial y realmente ha tenido un enorme impacto. Yo me imagino que todos ustedes tendrán esta pregunta. I will ask you, why Shabbos, among all the mitzvot that a Jew can do and all the projects that a community can imagine, why specifically Shabbos? From where this idea came and how it developed? Please tell us.
I think that Shabbat is something that holds all Jews together and unifies us. But also Shabbat is one of the most special mitzvot that we have, because on Shabbat it's a time to be with your family. It's a time to eat good food. It's a time to have a chance to really relax and to be together with yourself and to be together with your friends, and to put aside all of the pressures of the week just for that one day. And because it's such a special mitzvah, it's a mitzvah which talks to everybody. There's nobody who can't relate to Shabbat. Shabbat is a mitzvah that everyone can relate to. I'll tell you an interesting story. I had a meeting with the Katzin HaChinuch, who's the head of the education department in Tzva Haganah Yisrael in the IDF, and I discussed the Shabbat project with him, and they have put the Tzahal into the Shabbat project. So part of the Shabbat project is Tzahal, is the IDF. They are part of the Shabbat project, because the IDF sees that Shabbat is about connecting to Am Yisrael, to the entire Jewish people. So that's been part of the thinking. Any questions? Any questions from the floor?
Alexa.
Yeah.
How many Jews live in South Africa?
How many Jews live in South Africa? 70,000 Jews live in South Africa. 50,000 in Johannesburg, and about 17,000 in Cape Town, and then the rest are spread out all over the rest of South Africa. More questions? Yes.
What's the value of being Jewish?
What's the value of being Jewish? Wow, this is a good question here. Do everybody have a question? What is the value of being Jewish? I think, to be born a Jew is an incredible privilege. It means to be born into a people that has a great history and a great future. When you're Jewish, we have what the Torah that God gave us at Mount Sinai thousands of years ago, and it gives us something to do and meaning in our lives, everything that we do. And to be a Jew is to be connected. People around the world, everyone is longing to belong to something. When you're a Jew, you belong to the Jewish people. You belong to Am Yisrael. You're never alone in the world. You always have a framework around you, a framework of people, and a framework of good deeds, and a framework of meaning in life. What do people want from life? People want to belong. People want meaning. People want spirituality. People want to feel part of something that's bigger than them. That's what people really want from life. And being Jewish gives you the chance to belong, to be part of something. It gives you a chance to find meaning in life, and to really have a special life, because we have so much that makes us so special. So that's, in short, an answer to your question, but it's a very good question. So, yes?
How exactly did you come up with the idea to make the Shabbos?
Okay, so it's a good question. How do we come up with the idea? So I had a conversation. There's a professor, an Israeli professor, in Duke University in the United States. His name is Dan Ariely. I don't know if you've come across some of his books. He's written books called Rational, Irrational, all about human behavior. And he's secular. And he was in Johannesburg, and he came to see me. And he wanted to know, what do I think is the most important mitzvah in the whole Torah? And I told him Shabbat. And then he'd actually asked to see me because he wanted to find out, what does Judaism say about human behavior? Because he's fascinated that how Judaism is so wise when it comes to understanding human behavior and getting people to do things and getting a whole people, a whole nation. Because the amazing thing is, I'm here in Mexico. I could be in Johannesburg talking to the King David School in Johannesburg, and it would be exactly the same thing as I'm talking to you today. I was in shul this morning. It's the same parasha. We all connected, and we're all part of the same people. So he's amazed about how it is that Jews, no matter where you go in the world, all Jews do the same things. How does that happen? So that's what he came to ask me. And then I asked him, how would you get people to keep Shabbat? So he said, make a time where people accept to keep Shabbat for a limited period of time. He was talking about 12 weeks, which is the time it takes to form a habit on something. So I thought that's too long. I discussed it with my wife, and we came up with the idea to do one Shabbat for the whole community. And that was the start of it. We just did it in South Africa in 2013, and we didn't intend for it to be a global project. But then we made a video of it and put it on YouTube. And we said for 2014, whoever wants to participate, come and join in. And I got hundreds of emails from all around the world, and within a few months We had a global movement. It's the power of Facebook, it's the power of YouTube, it's the power of the internet that makes this project so strong.
The kids who go to the minyan every morning, I think you should ask something.
Yes, we have a question here in the front.
How many countries are united with the Shabbos project?
So the Shabbos project is in 1,152 cities in 95 countries all around the world. And it's across 10 languages. That's the... We have a call center in Tel Aviv where we've got people speaking all the languages, speaking Spanish and French, Portuguese, Russian, German, to be able to talk to all of our partners all around the world, because it's properly a global project. Mondial, right? Is that the right word?
Yes.
Technically, how does it work? You know, this call center.
The bit of the guarda en silencio.
Technically, if some of you want to keep this Shabbos project, how it will be, or what do you have to do?
I've got an idea for all of you. I've got an idea. I'll tell you what we did in Johannesburg, and I'd like to put it to you and see if you are ready to work with me on this. What I did in Johannesburg is to really get the Shabbat project moving. I invited the students, the high school students, to my home, some of them, to talk about them becoming leaders and to promote the Shabbat project. So what I want to suggest to you today, and I'd like you to think about it, will you be with me in the project to bring the Shabbat project even stronger here in Mexico City? And what I would love to do is you can make a committee, a Shabbat project committee here at the school, and from that committee, what you can do is you make a video, and the video can be with all different people talking, saying, I'm going to keep that Shabbat, I'm going to be part of the Shabbat project. Say it in Spanish, say it in English as well, and send a message. Send a message to all of the youth who are your age in Mexico City to say, will they come and join in the project? And then send a message to all of the youth all around the world and say, the youth of Mexico City are part of the project, and we want you to join us in doing it. So you can actually be ambassadors to the project. The power of this project is that you can actually bring it to the whole world, and you can be the people who do that. Because if you say that on a video and it goes on Facebook, so then that will go around the whole world, and youth of your age, I'd love to start a movement all around the world with high school students who take on to do the project. And we can think of ideas that you could do. Maybe you could do an Oneg Shabbat, a Tish, on the Friday night of the Shabbat project, which will just be for the youth, and you can run it, and you choose the songs, and you do it. Is this something that sounds interesting to you? Can I get some partners here that maybe you can talk amongst yourselves and form a Shabbat project committee?
Hans, who would be interested en ayudar a formar el
Over
Shabbat
there,
project en la
you
escuela?
get one there, and no.
Yeah, we have someone great. Okay, great. I'm so pleased to have partners. So I'll tell you what I would love you to do. Form a Shabbat project committee here at the school, and then send me an email. They've got my address. Tell me that you've set up the committee. I'll write back to you, and maybe I can even send a message, a video message. Someone can record me something in Spanish. I'll try and say it in Spanish, and we can use it for your video, and we can maybe do a video together that we can then send out to all of your friends and send to youth of your age. Yes?
How many people went to the first Shabbos project?
In South Africa?
Yes.
So South Africa, there's 70,000 Jews, and we did a survey afterwards to ask the community how many people participated, and we found that 70% of the community participated in the Shabbos project. So it's more than 50,000 people participated. Our challah bake is enormous. Last year there was 6,000 women that came to the challah bake in Johannesburg, and another 1,500 that came in Cape Town. So it's big numbers. But I think, well, you know what I've seen? Mexico City has got an amazing Jewish community. I think it can be even stronger over here. Yeah.
What
What is the?
Your biggest achievement?
You know what I think it is the fact that Jews all around the world can be proud to be a Jew. Because sometimes when do we unify ourselves as Jews? Often we unify ourselves when there's a tzarot, when someone's been kidnapped, or there's a war in Israel. Then there's Jewish unity. We need Jewish unity at a time when there's not tzarot, but it's actually a time where it's good, and we are celebrating, and we're just proud to be Jews. And for me, that's such an important thing. The Shabbat project is about the pride to be a Jew and the joy and the happiness of what it means to be a Jew, where we celebrate and we say, Ashreinu Matov Chelkeinu, how happy we are and how fortunate we are to be Jewish, and we celebrate that with the world. But I'm very excited because I feel if we can make a Shabbat project committee here from the students here, and you can speak to some of your friends in some of the other schools, and we make like a whole movement, and then you can challenge your friends, like the Ice Bucket Challenge. So then we can challenge your friends to join in the Shabbat project and to be part of it. Okay, great. Yes.
¿Cuál es la importancia de seguir siendo judíos hoy en día después de todo lo que ha pasado, sobre todo de todo lo que hemos tenido?
What's the importance of keeping Judaism and still being Jewish after all what happens to us in all the history? Why specifically now?
You know what I think? That as Jews, we have something which is precious. If there was no Jewish people in the world, and there's no Judaism, the world would be an emptier place. It would be empty, and it would be a pity. So that's what our job is. We need to keep it alive. All the Jews of all the generations that came before us, they sacrificed so much so that we would still be alive and have Judaism today. And that's what the Shabbat project is about. I think we're gonna wrap up over here. I'm excited to work with you, and I'm glad we'll have a committee. Please email me, and let's work together to bring more Shabbat and the Shabbat project to Mexico City. God bless you, and thank you so much.
This will be a trigger for many years to come. Please be with us more often, and thank you for being here.
Hola a todos. Buenos días. Nada más para cerrar 2 segundos. Nosotros somos parte del Shabbos Project, el comité que estamos trabajando. Estamos muy interesados en su participación. Alguien más adelante, Oscar y Moy nos van a ayudar a contactar a que parte de lo que se habló ahorita con el Rab y los compromisos que se hicieron, le demos seguimiento para este Shabbos Project del 27 y 28 de octubre. Los que se quieren ir apuntando, acérquense con Moy y con Oscar, por favor.
Rab, bueno, Rabanim, Rab.